Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and welcome back to another review for the Stallone Marathon, this time being the Expendables 2. I had a review of this up a long time ago when this film came out. I saw it in the theater, and I deleted that review recently because it was very meandering, went on for an hour, because I didn't know how to put into words about this movie because I did not want to hate it because I'm a fan of the first film, because I wanted so much to love this movie, because it's Stallone and Van Damme in the same movie with Arnold and Bruce Willis and Chuck Norris, and there's Jet Li and there's Dolph Lundgren and the guy who directed Con Air. I love Con Air. I've reviewed Con Air. But when I sat in the theater, it was this feeling of disappointment. And even when I did that review, back in 2012, I filmed 3 times or so that review, and that's what came up with it. And then it just meandered because I'm like, I don't want to hate this film, but then there's this and this and this, and there are moments I like, but it's just with the Expendables in 2010. There's so many directions you could go with, and I think this is a film that has a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of decisions that confuse me. I mean, yeah, the plot's simple and that's fine. It's the Expendables. They have this new guy for some fucking reason. Liam Hemsworth, who's a sniper, who wants to get out and he's going to finish the month up and go see his girlfriend. And I'm like, ooh, is he 3 days till retirement? Oh, end of the month? Okay. Van Damme is the bad guy, kicks a knife right into the guy's chest, which is cool. They go after him not only for revenge, but he's got this weapons grade plutonium. Film ends at this airport terminal. A lot of mayhem. Some fights which are lackluster, unfortunately. And let me put it this way, okay. One thing they did better than the first one, I'll admit this, is that it's less shaky cam. It's less shaking the camera. The camera is more still. You understand more what's going on. But on the flip side, the 2010, the first one had some kind of, I'm not sure if I want to say kinetic energy or down and dirtiness or impact. Or maybe it's the fact that the first film actually was something that took itself seriously, that had its humor and had its humorous moments, but it wasn't a parody. This film, for some reason, they decided to take it very far into comedy, that at times it does feel like a parody. I'm like, am I watching The Expendables 2 or Hot Shots Part 2? Hot Shots Part 2. Is this The Expendables Part 2 or Part 2? Is Charlie Sheen going to come out as Top of Harley anytime? I mean, when you got Arnold saying yippee-ki-yay, and then Chuck Norris comes by him and he's like, who's next, Rambo? Well, you got Chuck Norris coming out with the good, the bad, and the ugly music of Ennio Morricone behind him, and telling a fucking Chuck Norris fat about a Cobra dying. I'm like, come on, you could do this better. You don't need this horse shit. Going back in those 80s and 90s films, they took themselves seriously, but they also had humor. Cobra, right, is a serious film, but it has its moments of humor. You know what your problem is? You're too violent. Hard Target is a serious film, but it has moments of Uncle Duvet and see, hitting the snake in the face. Commando. Arnold's character took the film seriously. His character is serious, but it has a lot of funny moments that make you laugh. Promise until you last, I lied. Don't disturb my friend, he's dead tired. But you look at Arnold's character, he was very serious. Here, there are moments where people are serious, but for the most part, people are so firmly playing their cheek, you're wondering if it's this cheek or their butt cheek. And it just, that's not what I wanted in an Expendables film. I don't know why they decided to go that route. It's almost as if when the first film came out, they got some criticisms, and people are like, hey, Stallone goes, hey, let's be funny. People think we're funny, let's be funny. And I'm like, I don't think you're funny. As in laughing at you. I enjoyed The Expendables. I saw it in the theater. I saw it recently again. I still enjoy it. It has its little issues with some shaky cam and CGI. But overall, I really enjoyed it. That's the film The Expendables should have been. Just get practical blood and squibs and ease up a bit on the camera. And they do the easing up on the camera, but then they fix shit that did not need to be fixed. They fixed shit, and made it too much comedy, too much. It's fine to have humor, but it's too much parody type of humor. And then some of its fight scenes, when Van Damme and Stallone get to fight each other, and it feels very short, and it feels very lackluster, and Stallone, it's a one-handed fight. It's a one-sided fight, I should say. It's one-sided. Van Damme barely gets to have any hits on Sly. Is this because Sly was pissed that Van Damme didn't do the first one, and Van Damme said this and that, and it's like, I'm going to get my revenge now, so I'm going to beat his ass 90% of the time? I'm like, you're the hero, Sly. Do you not remember your films? Remember the fight with the big guy in Rambo 3 where you got your ass kicked a lot, but then you're able to do a comeback and kick his ass? Or the Rocky films where you get beat up and then come back? Do you not remember that in a fight scene you have a back and forth like in Demolition Man with you and Wesley Snipes? Did Sly forget this? Or was it an ego thing? Where, you know what, I'm going to treat Van Damme like shit. So Van Damme gets like 3 hits and Stallone gets like 30 hits. And it's ridiculous. And then this fight with Scott Adkins and Jason Statham, that was too short as well. And I actually have a book that has an interview with Scott Adkins, and someone even is asking him that because they felt the fight was too short. And reading it, Scott Adkins has this long pause, and he goes, well, I don't want to badmouth the producer because he got me the job, let me be a part of it, I should say. But when you do fight scenes, you need time. And they gave him very little time. And then one day was cut in half because they were stupidly filming a tennis player beating up bad guys with a fucking tennis racket, which, by the way, is on a deleted scene here. I have some tennis pro guy beating bad guys up during that airport terminal sequence with a tennis racket. And Scott Adkins even said that he thought it was stupid, Stallone was pissed off about it, and Jason Statham thought it was stupid. So I guess it was because the producers wanted it. I don't know if that was Avi Arad or not. Avi, that's a different one. Avi Lerner. Sorry about that. Not Avi Arad is Marvel. Avi Lerner or Kevin King Templeton or Danny Lerner or Les Wilden or what? I have no idea. And Liam Hemsworth. I think he's in the Hunger Games. So what? No one saw those movies because of that guy. Obviously, this is more true when Independence Day 2 came out, which starred Liam Hemsworth. No one saw the movie. A, 'cause it's shitty. 2, 'cause it was a bad idea. 3, Will Smith wasn't in it. And 4, 'cause no one gives a fuck about Liam Hemsworth. I don't give a fuck about him and his sob story. He tells this stupid story about being in Afghanistan and his fucking stray dog got shot. Am I supposed to be laughing? No? That's supposed to be serious? I don't give a shit about your stray dog dying in Afghanistan. Don't give a fuck. And the new people they got in, like him and Yunnan or Non-You. I've seen it both ways. I've seen people say Non-You. I've seen people say Yunnan. I'll just say Yunnan for the sake of argument. If I'm wrong, oh well. But her character was shitty too. She did not need to be in the film. And she had a crush on Sly, even though Sly is like twice or three times her age. And she does stuff like, I liked Italian too. When they're talking about food, I could go for Italian. Does this sort of fuck me eyes at Sly. And it's just, why is this in the movie? Doesn't need to be in the fucking film. The woman in the first film works because it was part of the plot, and she wasn't really a love story either. It wasn't. I don't know how to describe it. The opening, I will admit, seeing it again, the opening grew on me a little bit. Where they're in Nepal, which just made me think of the Golden Child. Nepal! Viva Nepal! Viva Nepal! Someone's captured. Expendables ride in on vehicles. They tear folks up. Stallone and Statham are in one vehicle, shooting the shit out of people. Dolph and Jet Li are in a vehicle, and they have a little bit of back and forth. Watch your head, inset. And Jet Li goes, shut up, gunner. And, okay, they're blowing the shit out of people. Seems well staged. I understand what's going on. It's not shaky. It's not heavily edited, schizophrenic style. Camera pans. I understand where everyone's at. It's not confusing. There's like a little bit of practical mixed in with CG, blood-wise. And I still don't care for the motorcycle that goes into the helicopter. I understand that's more realistic. I understand, for example, Stone Cold, when Brian Bosworth shoots really shoots the helicopter with a motorcycle, because he shoots the guy and the motorcycle keeps going and hits the chopper and it blows up. I understand if it touches the chopper, it's not immediately going to blow up. I know that. But it looks cooler. It looks cooler. It seems cooler. It seems more badass. The chopper getting stuck like a fat man in a door looks goofy, and yeah, it may be more realistic, but it's just less badass to me. I just rather watch Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. I don't mind the scene, watching it again, where Jet Li's fighting these guys with some frying pans, and it's well filmed. The guys rescue this person, and it's Arnold, who was trying to rescue this other guy, which is over in the corner there. And this is where you get the even start of these shitty lines like Terry Crews going, if I don't get that gun back, your ass is terminated. And Arnold's like, in your dreams. Ha! Do you get it? Because they mentioned terminated as in, that guy was in Terminator. You see, this guy was in Terminator. He was a Terminator. Yeah, I know he's in Terminator. Because the people seeing this have seen those fucking movies. Yes, terminated in your dreams. And then Arnold says he's going to meet up with his team, which you never fucking see his team. Arnold specifically says, I'm going to go meet my team. Where's your team? I got to go meet back with them. You never meet them. You never met them in the next one either. And when I saw the first film, I remember thinking, I wonder what Arnold's team would be. What would Schwarzenegger's team be? Would it be like Mark Dacascos or Jeff Speakman or who could be on this team? Roddy Piper, fucking Jackie Chan, Olivier Gruner, sometimes pronounced Oliver Gruner, I've heard it pronounced both ways, Michael Biehn. Like, who could be on that team? Michael Jai White, or hell, Brandon Van Diesel and The Rock. But no, you never see Arnold's team. I guess Arnold's team is himself. So, yeah, that bad line about being terminated, because he's a Terminator, dude. They do the zip line shooting. Jet Li shoots his car and makes it flip. Well shot. I'll give it that. See, this opening, again, it grew on me, but it still has little stuff that annoyed me. Like, everyone, like, winking to the camera. Like, do you get it? Do you get it? We're funny because we're making fun of ourselves. I don't want you to make fun of yourselves unless you're doing Last Action Hero type of movie. Otherwise, don't do that. People complain about Rambo 3 because Stallone has humor. That's humor that works. And is actually funny. It's a blue light. What does that do? Turns blue. Like, that fits with the movie. It just took me out when that happened. And it happens a lot. And that's the whole vibe of the flick. Then Sly and Statham have a bunch of guys around them, and they do a scene that I've had seen already in Crank with Statham, and also The Losers, because Chris Evans does this. Both films I like, and I like more than this. The Losers actually came out, I think, the same year as... Was it 2010? I think it was. That the first Expendables came out. Where they have the finger and they do this and this, but a sniper is shooting them, but it looks like they're doing it. I'm like, I've seen that already. So they go to the plane, they blow up this dock, whatever. They get out of there. The guy they rescued gets parachuted out in China, and Jet Li parachutes with them, and Jet Li's out of the movie, which sucks. I mean, he's one of the stars. That's one of the things about the first film. I'm like, I wish Jet Li was in the film more. Oh, cool, he's in the sequel. Well, he gets, this couple stuff and then he's gone. Maybe it was scheduled, maybe he's doing another movie, but still, it looked like he had some kind of back and forth with Dolph Lundgren. Like, Dolph goes, who am I going to pick on now? And Jet Li is like, you'll find someone. I would like to see more of their back and forth after what happened with them in the first movie. Nope. Something I want to see, I can't get. No, instead I get more Liam Hemsworth, who I don't give a shit about. Chris Hemsworth, I do. Liam Hemsworth, no. Oh, his fucking story about his fucking stray dog got shot. Why don't you just eat a hot dog and shut the fuck up, Liam Hemsworth? Or the stuff like they're at a bar and Dolph Lundgren, who in real life, he MIT chemical engineering, they put that into the script. So Dolph writes with a pen on a napkin Einstein's theory of relativity. He's like, I made it better. And he blows his nose. And that's another thing I hate about this fucking film, is what they did with Dolph. So Jet Li, you could do more with him. Expand his character, which should have been in the first movie, like more of him. But at least in the second half, he has more to do. Like, he's there till the end of the movie. Here, he gets one fight scene with frying pans, a little bit of gunplay, and then he disappears. That's a letdown and such. Dolph, in the first film, he's like one of the best characters, one of the most interesting character, you could say. And he was a drug addict, and he's a bit psycho. He blows up a guy, takes the top half of the guy's body off in a bloody chunk fashion. And here, he's been reduced to blowing his fucking nose. Later on, talks about eating whale ass. And fucking, oh, let me make a bomb, and oh, I'll be useful. Nope, it doesn't work. He's now a joke. I'm not talking about Dolph. I always root for Dolph. I think he's one of the more underrated action stars. I love I Come in Peace, Showdown Low Tokyo, The Punisher, Red Scorpion, Men of War, Universal Soldier. And his character was cool in the first film. Here, you took a dangerous character that was really interesting. What could they do more? They could put more Dolph in here and him dealing with this drug addiction, but also you don't have to go overboard. I know it's not an Oscar movie. It's not supposed to be. I don't want it to be that, to be honest. But you could him be dealing with being a psycho, and some moments come out, and then he holds back. No, he's a fucking joke. His character. And then the third film, if you blink, you miss him. So, like, they took this character that was really cool in the first film, and they fucked him up. I don't mean fucked him up like, I just see the first film is still enjoying that, but here he's just given nothing to do. I feel sorry for Dolph. Was just like some big joke on Sly, or whoever the hell Rose, like, people praise Dolph, well, I'll show them. I don't know. Did they really think this was funny? Him blowing his nose and talking about eating whale ass? After shooting the guy's top half of his body off in the first movie? So that pissed me off. You get Liam Hemsworth as a sniper. Like, of all the guys you could get into the movie, Liam Hemsworth, he's going to finish the month out. He's going to meet up with his girlfriend. Then Bruce Willis comes up and tells Sly, I knew the day would come that you pay me back, and I'm going to send someone with you because you don't go to this downed plane and get this case and whatever's in the case. And Yunnan is going to join you. She did not need to be in the film. Did not like Liam Hemsworth at all. Did not like Yunnan at all. I think they both sucked. They were useless characters, useless personalities, no charisma, no presence, and you don't give a flying fuck about them. Liam taught him his speech about Afghanistan, and his stray dog got shot. They get to the down plane. It's someone with an explosive timer. She gets it. They leave. It's foggy out, and there's Jean-Claude Van Damme as villain. Sly, I know you came up with some really stupid character names in the first movie, like Hail Caesar and Yin Yang and Toll Road, but you literally named the villain Villain? Seriously? At least give a shit and name the, like, Boudreaux, or, yeah, I've heard him. They say his nickname is Lionheart. Why's that? Or Devereaux. His last name be Devereaux. His last name be, his first name be Chance. His first name be, Chad or Alex. I don't know. No, Villain. And Van Damme is one of the best parts of the movie for me. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme. Him and Stallone are my two favorite action stars. Stallone and then Van Damme. And that's why one of the first marathons I did was Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I reviewed all his movies. I have a playlist on my channel of them because I love Van Damme and he does great in this movie. But man, he's underused. He's barely in the film. He pops up like 30, 35 minutes into the movie. And after this scene, he pops up like 3 times just to give exposition about this plutonium that he's stealing with his cohort, played by Scott Adkins. And then you get to the ending. So, like, Van Damme's great. I just wish he was given more to do. Like, give him some guys to kick ass. Like, kick their ass. Have Bruce Willis send a previous team. And Van Damme kills and kicks the shit out of them. Or have some other random guys with Stallone's crew, or have some military force that's where the hell they're at. They're good guys, but they try to kill Van Damme's crew, and Van Damme is killing them, and Scott Adkins killing them. Show the bad guys that they're a threat. I mean, I love that Van Damme kicks a knife into Liam Hemsworth's chest. I like that bit. But by the end, you get fucking Arnold, Sly, Bruce Willis, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Chuck Norris, Terry Crews versus Van Damme and Scott Adkins. How fucking fair is that? It's like, that's how badass Van Damme is. It took John McClane and John Matrix and John Rambo and Lone Wolf McQuaid and Ivan Drago to kill Van Damme and Scott Adkins. It's just really unfair, and it's just like, you realize it's because no one wants to be a bad guy. No one wants to be the bad guy and lose. Van Damme, I think the rumor was that's one of the reasons why he didn't do the first film, is that he's supposed to have a fight with Jet Li and lose. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's not. Whether that's the case, Van Damme didn't feel that way this time. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll lose. The Sly, okay. And then the added insult of Van Damme not being able to get any hits on Sly, except like count on one hand, but then Sly can punch him like 30 times in one shot. I'm thinking, wow, this is a really one-sided fight. Like, give Van Damme more scenes to do. More scenes to work. More people to fuck up and kill. And why do you need Liam Hemsworth to be the guy to kill? How about you take someone from the first movie? I think one idea was Mickey Rourke, but Mickey Rourke didn't want to do it because he had a bad relationship with Van Damme and Double Team. And maybe that's why, like, I would say kill Randy Couture. I'm sorry, Randy Couture brings nothing. I respect him in MMA, but he's not a fight. He is a fighter, but he's not an actor. He's not an action star. He doesn't have a presence. He doesn't have a charisma. And granted, I don't give a shit about Randy Couture either, but him being killed by Van Damme would make sense movie-wise, where, oh, here's a guy who was part of the team in the first film, and Van Damme killed him. Or you'd have Van Damme and them fight. He beats up Randy Couture. Then drags him, tells him, has him, I don't know, handcuffed or tied down, and then does the thing with the knife and kicks the knife into Randy Couture's chest. Should have been something like that. And Van Damme, his team should have been like Bruce Willis turned evil and maybe Arnold. Wouldn't that be more of a challenge? Like, ooh, Stallone, and there's Expendables. Have it be Stallone, Statham, keep Jet Li in the film, Dolph Lundgren, Terry Crews, and you can add in Chuck Norris. And now you can add in one or two more, whether it be Jeff Speakman, Martha Costos, whoever, versus Van Damme, Scott Adkins, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Bruce Willis. That'd be pretty damn cool. That's almost as if what it would be if you watch the first film, because Arnold and Sly have this sort of adversary, sort of let's have dinner. When? In 1,000 years. Like they don't like each other. And then Bruce Willis looks like he's ready to kill Sly if he gets fucked with. It's almost as if you're setting up maybe he'll be a possible villain. But no, because no one wants to be the bad guy. So they're all good guys except Van Damme, Scott Adkins. So it's really unfair to the... I feel more sorry for the bad guys because there's no way they can win. I love Van Damme, but when you look at this cover and all of them are good guys except one. There's one bad guy on the cover. The rest are good guys. Come on, man. That's really unfair. Just everyone wants to be a good guy. No one wants to be a bad guy. Just Eric Roberts, Scott Adkins, Van Damme, and Mel Gibson. And I don't think that's what people would want. They would want, okay, get another group to fight. And no, everyone wants to be a good guy. And the middle, the action scenes didn't do much for me. I mean, when Sly Statham for 10 seconds fights these guys with brass knuckles. They get to this old Soviet army base. Conversation about a last meal, which Terry Crews, because Randy Couture has the thing with his ears. He says, oh, let me guess, you'll eat a cereal called Eerios. And that's where Yunnan tries to flirt with Stallone and says, I like Italian. And Dolph says it's about eating whale ass. The next morning there's a firefight. Nothing much to it. Like there's no panache. There's no visual style. There's no impact kinetic energy. There's no down and dirtiness. It's just shoot, shoot, shoot. It's just nothing much to the direction. There's no energy to it. It's sort of a point and shoot. And then bad guys start dying off, and the tank that they have gets blown up, and Chuck Norris comes out. And they play music, and I'm thinking, okay, what music could they play? The Missy and Action music. Down, now, now. Down, now, 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 now. Or Lone Wolf McQuade music. Do 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 ba da da da. They could play my choice, the Delta Force music, like da 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 da, like a slow version of that. Da 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 na na. Chuck Norris walking up to him. Da na 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 na. Da 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 na na. No, let's play. No 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 no. Wah wah wah. Wah 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 wah. And I'm thinking. No, no, no. Perfect opportunity, but they play the man with no name music. Really, from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Really, it's just stupid. I like the music when it's Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but not for this. Delta Force, Invasion USA, that music. But no. Probably because none of those guys ever saw those fucking movies. I bet if I went up to Sly and said Delta Force, he'd be thinking, oh, the real life Delta Force? No, the movie. What's the movie? Exactly. Like, no one fucking knows. And that's what I mean. It's like, oh, here's Chuck Norris, but let's have him have a stupid fucking Chuck Norris fat. The Chuck Norris fats are fun. They don't need to be in the movie. I don't need to hear Chuck Norris talk about the fact about the Cobra bit him, and after 5 days the Cobra died. I would appreciate something like, if you see Valan, you tell him it's time to die. And some people be like, what's that about? But fans would be like, yes, from Invasion USA, yes. See, that's a reference that would work because it's not obvious, but fans who really know this stuff would get it. Those are the references that would work better than just when Arnold says, I'll be back, and then Willis goes, you've been back enough, I'll be back, and then Arnold just says yippee-ki-yay for some reason. That was just lame. It was cool to see Chuck Norris in it. That's another thing I like, Chuck Norris. I love Chuck Norris. And him being called Lone Wolf, I like that. But then immediately he disappears because he only shot for like 3-4 days. I'm like, why? Is Chuck Norris that busy, Chuck? Were you that busy you could not stay with the team? Why not? Why could you not? It's not like he's making movies. What is he busy with? Why can't he do the entire movie? I would have loved to ask Mr. Chuck Norris that. Mr. Chuck Norris, why did you have to leave? Why did you only have 3-4 days to work? Why don't you stay the entire movie? This is probably the last film he'll ever do. Because he had not done a film for a while, and since 2012, he hasn't done a movie since. So this would be the last film you're in. Why are you not in it for the entire film? Are you doing more Bullflex, whatever, commercials? Like, whatever the hell he was doing? Why? I don't understand that, Chuck. It's your decision, I'm sure, but why not stay for the entire movie? It's like, I think that's what hurts this film, is that Jet Li probably only had a little bit of time, so no, he's gone, so we get this shitty replacement of Yunnan, Non-Yu, whatever the hell, and Liam Hemsworth. Well, Mickey Ward can't come back because he has a problem with Van Damme, so he had Liam Hemsworth to kill someone. I'm like, you can have Mickey Ward back and not kill him, just kill Randy Couture's character. Chuck Norris, well, he disappears until the end of the film. It's like, get the egos out of the way and stay for the whole flick. They get to this village. They decide to help these people out. Statham has a line, I now pronounce you man and knife. And Statham fucking these people up in a church. Decent bit. They shoot some guys. They shoot the shit out of one guy with some crappy CGI blood. And Stallone says, rest in pieces. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather watch I Come in Peace and watch Dolph go, and you go in pieces, asshole. I'd rather watch that movie. They get to this mine where Van Damme has these innocent people who are trying to get this plutonium out for Van Damme, making them do it. They crash the plane. That scene looks fucking awful. The way it was handled, the way it was filmed, the CG work. They're trapped in the mine. Dolph thinks he has a plan to blow it up, but he fails, make him look like a fucking joke again. Arnold blasts out and he says, I'm back. And I'm like, I'm tired of you saying that fucking line now. Because you get to the airport terminal where all the good guys and bad guys converge, and there's some fun stuff there. Chuck Norris shooting the shit out of people. At one point, shooting the shit out of a guy, and he flies back. He's in this X-ray machine. I liked that bit. Yeah, it brought a smile to my face seeing Arnold, Stallone, and Bruce Willis together. the three of them knocking down bad guys and the mayhem. It was cool that Arnold and Chuck Norris got to be on screen together. But it was ruined by the direction really isn't much. It's pretty much point, shoot over there, point, shoot over there, edit it. Maybe once in a while the camera will go this way. And there's really, like the mayhem and the people involved were cool, but there was no energy to it. There was no thrill to it. And it was ruined by bad lines like Yippee-ki-yay and Who's Next, Rambo. I like the bit with the small car and Bruce and Arnold shooting bad guys. Like I said, Chuck Norris killing a guy. He goes into the x-ray machine, the bad guy does. Then you get the Scott Adkins and Jason Statham fight. Way too short, ended way too quick, and it's because they didn't have much time to film. Sly and Van Damme, too short, one-sided, Stallone getting punch, 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 throwing punch, 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 punch. Van Damme gets like a headbutt and a 360 kick. And I like Van Damme in the scene. I want my money's worth. Yeah, come on, going back down. He doesn't say come on, but he says going back down. And he doesn't do the 360 kick again. They just use the shot again. I know because I listened to the commentary and Simon West says they just used the shot again. But then it's just Stallone being the shot of Van Damme. Then Van Damme's able to grab the chains, bring them down. They get down. And then Van Damme doesn't get one hit on Sly. Sly gets these chains, beat the shit out of him, kicks him like 5 feet, wraps him around as if he's fucking Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, stabs Van Damme. And I'm like, this is two of my favorite action stars together. And you get this lame fuck fight that I have a sinking feeling is because Stallone does not like Van Damme. I really do feel that way. They still pissed that Van Damme said no in 2010, and he doesn't want to look bad getting beat up by Van Damme. Maybe I'm looking more into it than I should. I don't know. I wasn't there. It's just, you gotta at least give me that's a really one-sided fight. Usually you want your bad guy to beat your hero up and then come back and forth and back and forth. Not 90% Sly, 10% Van Damme. I'm a Sly fan, but I'm also a Van Damme fan. Come on now. And I know this video's taking longer than it should, but it's just me expressing the disappointment why it's a rant/review. I like some bits of the opening with, them tearing shit up. Jelly fighting some people with some frying pans. I like Chuck Norris. I like Van Damme. I like some bits at the end where Chuck Norris fucking people up with a machine gun. Seeing Sly, Bruce Willis, and Arnold together, those three shooting bad guys. But bad new additions of Non-Yu, Yunnan, and Liam Hemsworth. Terrible characters, terrible additions, wasted time in the movie. Van Damme was underused as the bad guy. 2 really lame, anticlimactic, short fights. Scott Adkins Statham should be great. It isn't. Van Damme and Stallone should be awesome. It isn't. You get still some piss poor CG blood. Stupid lines of dialogue about whale ass and you terminated and who's next Rambo and a vibe as if we're a parody and we can't take ourselves too seriously. So winked a lot at the camera. Wasting people from the first movie, like Jet Li being only in it for a couple minutes, or well, he was busy. Well, why don't you wait until he's not busy? But I'm sure, oh, it's Jet Li, who cares? Dolph. What about Dolph? How do you explain Dolph then? If you want to explain Jet Li that way, what about Dolph? He can't be a badass. No, he's gotta be a joke where he's talking about whale ass and sneezing, blowing his nose, and fucking doing bombs that don't work. So they, waste of Jet Li, fucked up Dolph Lundgren's character. Chuck Norris, why can't he be in more of the film? Blame that on Chuck or whoever. I don't care who's to blame. I still blame. Van Damme's underused. Sure, give him some people to fight, some people to kill. Make him a villain that people should be. Oh shit! Look at all the carnage he's doing by himself. And Scott Adkins. That's how you build up the bad guys, folks. Invasion USA. You have the bad guy get a fucking bazooka and blow up an entire fucking innocent neighborhood. Dolph Lundgren, Universal Soldier. He shoots the guy right in the eye, fucks these people up, punches a. Any questions? Or even that one moment where there's these guys just boom, 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 kicks all of them. And, threatens the guy. I'm talking about Universal Soldier now, but that's an ending, the finale that's satisfying. So is Demolition Man with Stallone, Wesley Snipes. This is not satisfying. It's disappointing. The music didn't do much for me. The songs, yeah. The back and forth dialogue, I don't remember much of any that I liked, to be perfectly honest. So, you could have had Bruce Willis as a bad guy that they gotta go after, and what's Arnold has a team? What is the team? And have like an even mano-a-mano versus one team versus another team. Better fights that are not sucky and short as shit. Lower down the fucking parody and shitty one-liners. You do have one-liners, but don't have shitty one-liners. Like, who's next, Rambo? Get rid of the CGI blood, for fuck's sake. Do practical. You got the money for it. I'm sorry, you can afford it. I guarantee you can. Get people to actually have a schedule worth of shit to be in the entire fucking film. It's fucking tired of that crap. But yeah, to me, it's a rant because it's a disappointment. The next Expendables 3 is way worse though. And yeah, compared to Bullet to the Head, Escape Plan, Grudge Match, this is better. It is. But that's why this is going on for 50 minutes, just me expressing in detail my disappointments with the film and what this franchise could have been, what this franchise could have done. And bringing in people like Roddy Piper, Martha Costos, Olivier Gruner, Jess Beatman. But I don't think that was ever the intention. That was never the intention. I thought that was the intention, but I guess not. So, yeah. Not much more to say other than a very disappointing film that does have its moments in the airport terminal, Chuck Norris, Van Damme, a little bit at the beginning, but for me, the disappointments outweigh the good, very much so. So this is sort of a rant and review of the movie. I would put just rant, but then the third film came. I still, if someone said, do I like it, do I not like it, I don't like Expendables 2. It's just disappointing. You get to the third one, though, it does look better. This does look better because of that. But I still can't give it a pass. I'm sorry, I can't give it a pass. But yeah, I'm saving more of the yelling for Expendables 3. It's like, man, if I thought it could not get any worse, I was wrong. I was so fucking wrong.